Finding peace in this prison never seemed so long before. What am I searching for? Just a touch of the feeling, the rush of two hearts beating. Why am I left dancing in the rain again, singing my sorrows for when I can't seem to get just some place where I belong. And don't take this from me, I've been fading away, memories are turning to gray, but every step that I take, the closer
All right, everybody, we are live. It is another episode 18, as a matter of fact, live of the Reality Bytes podcast. I am your host, as always, PunthePsych here. Man, I've got a lot to talk about tonight. Content just keeps pouring in, even when I don't try. Took a couple days off the live streaming, was editing and doing some other things, and I just happened to be looking at different social medias. It wasn't just from one location where my main topic of the night came from, even though some of you may think from local areas that based on your specific situation that this may apply to you. It applies to all of you in these situations. To be more specific, my hometown area in Michigan has developed a problem with this. My hometown of Portland, Oregon has developed the same problem, just at a far, far, far bigger scale. And the topic is homelessness, and we're going to get into that tonight here on Reality Bytes Radio, and we're going to talk about that in far depth. I've talked about it before on a different episode. That was about a year ago. I feel that it's time to rehash this again because, honestly, just like every opinion or anything else, things tend to change. Society changes, the situation changes, the economy changes. Things in the world will progressively change over time. It's just history. If it's taught us much of anything, that should be one of the lessons that we've learned from history, that time will move on and society will change to progress with the time. That's just evolution, I guess, is the best way to put it. But we're going to get into that right now, and I've got a lot, like I said, I've got a lot to talk about here tonight, but we're going to get into the main topic right away, just because it's fresh on my mind, and I've got a lot to say about it. So, the topic is homelessness. Now, or desperation, or desertion. How do you tell the difference between somebody who's homeless, somebody who's desperate, and somebody who's deserted their life? Does anybody listening out there honestly know the answer to that question? Because I feel that a lot of people are misguided with this. Okay? I feel that a lot of people think that they understand the parameters of these three key words when it comes to homeless people. And I don't think you generally understand it. Okay, so I'm going to break this down to people in a way that they can understand this. This will make the rest of this broadcast so much easier to understand. I swear. Okay, so first off, we're going to talk about desertion. Even though it's the last on my list, it's the first one I need to bring up. Desertion is a type of person who has become in a position where they no longer give a fuck. They just don't care anymore. They gave up their place to live. They gave up their job. They gave up their life, and they gave up everything that they had. Because they just don't care. They lost the fight to live through series and series and series of traumatic and hard events in their life, or they have mental problems. Most desertion people that do that, they become homeless for the rest of their lives. Okay, these people are the ones that for many years were known to panhandle. They were the ones because they just shut the fuck up, give me my $5 so I can go get my Thunderbird and my pack of cigars and hey, I got this bridge overpass, and they become content with that life. Now, another term is desperation. Desperate people that are desperate enough to take measures to try and do something different with their life because they don't want to be homeless. You've also just got homeless as a general population, and when you use the word homeless, you're homeless. People take that way too advantage at this point in time, I believe, in society. I believe if you're crashing on someone's couch, you are not homeless. I believe if you have people out there that are helping you, you are not homeless. If you have nothing and you're literally sleeping on the street in a tent in the middle of the woods, you're homeless. Let's face it. Now, I can't sit here and act like I'm one of those people that's better than anybody, and I can't stress enough. There's definite lines when it comes to this, because we see this all the time, and it's an epidemic It's definitely expanded over time into even smaller cities, and I think that's what we're seeing now, and it's causing a little bit of a problem with the general public. But see, what I'm getting at is if you go to a bigger city, or even a mildly bigger city, like I'll use Portland for an example, there's tent cities there. There's literally over 10,000 people in that city that are homeless. And you catch all acts and all kinds. In Portland, it's more or less, if you were to spend your entire day and your entire amount of time helping these people who are less fortunate, you would be broke and homeless yourself, because there is that many. Now, the hard part in Portland, because there's so many homeless people, is deciphering who really needs the help, who's deserted their life, who's desperate, and who's taking advantage of a situation. I've seen people stand on a street corner and beg for money, okay? Then you see them post on social media with stacks of money in their hand. And you think, that motherfucker makes more money than I do. That's kind of fucked up. People that work every day can't make that kind of money. We're the ones giving you the money. And I think that's fucked up. I think that way more than what it should be nowadays, you will find people that take advantage of that said situation exactly. And it happens far too much. It happens far too much to the point where now people are defensive. Now people want to know why the fuck you're out there, what the fuck you're doing, why you're trying to collect this money, and what the hell's going on. I understand that. I understand, hey, you know, I've helped many people. I've been in that situation, okay? I've been homeless. I've been on the street. I've also asked people for help, okay? I've never held a sign on a street corner because I was never that desperate. Because I did have a few friends and a few family members out there that were willing to help me. And some people don't have that option, and I understand that, okay? But if you're able-bodied enough to go put in 13 and a half hours walking and pacing at a street corner, why in the hell are you not capable enough of standing somewhere and doing something else? I mean, in Oregon, there's in the state of Oregon, they have made jobs for people like this. Like, you can't pump your own gas in the state of Oregon. Why is that? Because they're creating jobs for people. Now you tell me how strenuous of a job it is to go pump gas. I've done this job there, and I'll tell you right now, it's really not that bad. Yeah, you got to deal with some assholes, but if you're panhandling, you're dealing with just as many assholes, right? If not more. But they make more money than I did. I could go pump gas and actually fulfill a job, but these people are making more money. That's the draw that keeps them out there begging for more money and begging for this and begging for that. And it takes away from the people who honestly, for example, you know, some people just, you know, they were never born with an education. They've lived on the streets most of their lives. See, when you go out there desperate, when you go out there and you're not desperate and you don't really need the help and you're out there begging for money, when you're physically capable and you're able to take care of yourself, you just choose not to because the easy way is so much better. You're taking away from people that would give one of their appendages, if they hadn't already lost one, to have that opportunity. Key point, as I was leaving the state of Oregon to go to the state of Florida, you know, I witnessed three grown-ass, physically fit men standing outside in the cold. And, I mean, it was probably about 34 degrees outside there. It was pretty chilly out. Begging for money. Every business around them, and I shit you not because I took video of it, and I'd be more than welcome to provide that with anybody that wants to see that because I still have it. These three guys were literally standing around four businesses directly around them. All had no hiring signs outside. That's what society has come to. And quite frankly, That's what makes people defensive. Because here they are busting their ass off every day, watching you go into their town and all the local towns around you, panhandling for money. I've seen people offer people jobs. I've seen people do all sorts of things for people to help them. I'll be the first one to tell you, from being in a situation like that myself, you can't help anybody unless they want to help themselves. Key example, I seen somebody who I consider an aunt, a family member of mine, not really a family member, but I consider family, do a set of Facebook Live posts. And you know, to be honest with you, that was great. She offered her a job. She tried to help her out. She tried to get her on her feet. I think that's great. I really do. I think that people out there like that need to do better things. Now, and I care about this person very much, and I think what they did was very awesome. At the same time, on the same hand and foot, I think that the whole situation, in regards, probably could have been handled a little bit differently, because, you know, I mean, and these are my opinions. You like it or hate it, I don't care. I'm Pun. I'm going to speak my mind. But here's the deal, okay? I don't think anybody out there, I don't even think a nonprofit should be getting publicity off of helping somebody that's less fortunate. If you want to make a point and point this person out to your community, hey, I understand that completely. But we don't need to see their whole life story. We don't need to know everything that's going on with them. Quite frankly, why? Because it's none of our business. What if that person, and you offer them help and they want to go for it, let them go for it. But nobody needs to publicize that. I've always been one to honestly believe that no good deed goes unpunished. Or no bad deed. No good deed does not get recognized. It always comes back to you. Okay? If you do something good out there for someone, good things will come to you at some point for that. Just like if you do something bad in karma. I believe in the reverse effects of that, guys. But I never have thought, and I never will think, and it honestly pisses me off more than anything, to see people gaining publicity off the misfortune of other people. If you think they're a liar, if you think they're scum, and you think they're a piece of shit, and they're just trying to front people to get money, you know, I understand that, but at the same time, if you're willing to offer them help, it doesn't need to be shown for everybody in the damn world to see. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think, you know, like, yeah, I've been in the position where I've had to ask for help, and I had to publicly post on social media that I was in a bad situation. Okay, I'll openly admit that. Some people would say, well, that's kind of like standing on a street corner holding a sign, and I will say that's bullshit. And you want to know why I say that's bullshit? Because I'm not asking anybody that I don't know to give me a hand. And when situations are right, and when situations are good for me, the money that was given to me gets repaid. It's not like I'm asking for a handout. These people are on the corner asking for a handout, and I can see why that pisses people off. I can honestly see why that upsets people. I get it. But to get actual publicity for an act of kindness, it just rubs me the wrong way. So you're telling me that every time I pay it forward at the grocery store, I should videotape it and put it on YouTube for everybody to see? Because I did a humanitarian act? Because I went in above and beyond for somebody? I need to show my ass and have everybody see it. I need to get other people involved that really would have made no difference if I would have pulled that person off to the side and said, hey, I see you're in a bad luck. I've been seeing you out here for months. Do you want help? That doesn't need to be shown to the world. Because guess what? We all go through problems. And I've heard it said a million times, we've all got our own story. Yeah, we do have our own story, but I don't believe that everybody's story should be aired for the whole fucking world to see. Because some of those stories still hurt people. Some of those stories run very deep in someone's soul. And sometimes you need to be careful with that, because you really never know what you're getting into. You really never know what Pandora's box you're about to open with somebody. You could trigger somebody by bringing up something like that to them. I was in one of the weirdest cities in the country. And I'll tell you right now, there's some things I would say to people here in the Midwest that I would never say to somebody out west, on the West Coast. Why? Because people are fucking crazy out west. And they'll take that shit literally. Whether it's a smart remark or not. A lot of people out there don't have the mental function and capacity to handle that kind of criticism when they're already in a bad enough situation or state of mind. You're basically like seeing a fuse come down, and it's like 25, 30 yards away, right? And you see somebody run up with a blowtorch and light it right in front of you. And it's literally 2 feet and the thing's going to go off. Here you thought you had all this time, and now it's exploding in front of your face. That's the kind of analogy I have to give in the situation. Anytime I've ever did something nice for someone, I've never asked for anything in return. And I know these people that are helping other people, they're not asking for anything else in return. They just want to see these people get back on their feet and do something right with their lives. And that makes complete sense. That's the human thing to do, people. We all turn our heads far too fucking much in this world. Okay? I'm one of those people that if I have it good, I help people. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. I can't go into a grocery store knowing there's somebody standing outside of that son of a bitch starving, watching people come out with groceries, wishing and deciding who they're going to beg for money. I'll just go buy the son of a bitch a sandwich and hand it to him. If people were more like in that mindset of well, you know, I'm not going to give you cash, but if you need food, dude, I'll go buy you groceries. Dude, you've got to treat a bum. Politically correct. You have to treat someone who's homeless like you have to treat your baby's mama with child support. Okay? You can't trust that bitch with $1. You can't give that bitch cash. And you know you can't give her cash. Why can't you give her cash? Because it ain't ever going to be recorded, and she's going to spend it on whatever the hell she wants. Just to show you up, just because she got cash off your stupid fucking ass. So what's the answer? Well, I always rendered services like, yeah, you need money. Sorry about your damn luck. I ain't going to give you no money. I'll buy you diapers. I'll buy you things that you need. If you need groceries, I'll go buy you some of those too. But I sure as hell am not going to give you money. I treat homeless people the same way. Like, look, I'm not going to give you cash. There's been a few occasions where I've actually had a guy had enough balls to come up to me and be like, I want beer. And I would go buy the motherfucker a beer. Why not? He was honest. That doesn't mean if a crackhead comes up to me and says I need money for a crack fix, am I going to give him money for a crack fix or go buy him some crack? No. But I'm of legal age to have this beer and buy this beer, and the guy I'm giving it to is like twice my age. So who's really losing there? I put a smile on a guy's face and it cost me $1.50 for a fucking tall boy. Wow. What shocks them though is when I give them the beer, I'll go sit with them while they drink the beer and I'll smoke a doobie and ask them what's up with them. See, I want to know their story, but I'm not going to sit there and publicize it either. I just want to know where they're coming from, you know? I've had the exclusive honor to have traveled all over this country. Okay, I've been everywhere and got to experience life face up close. And I'll tell you, you know, everybody has a story. Every fucking person out there in this world has a story. Oh, yeah. Everybody's got a story, you know? It's amazing what you'll hear from people. It's amazing what people have to say sometimes. You'll be really shocked at what you'll hear from people. And sometimes you'll be really shocked at just the lack of care or disregard for even having a little bit of shame in having to ask somebody for something. And I've noticed that furthermore out on the West Coast, far more than you guys see out in the Midwest. The Midwest, you all got it easy. You get a couple panhandlers. It's not that bad. Out in PDX, we get some of the meanest motherfucking bums you will ever meet in your life. I'm not even kidding. These motherfuckers are straight gangster, okay? They come up in your face and demand things. And you'll see a few homeless people around here that do that, right? But in the Midwest, but I mean, these motherfuckers are aggressive. They will get straight up in your face like, what you got on my 40? I ain't got a goddamn thing on your 40, bro. I ain't got nothing for you. Like Debo and me and shit, just because I'm walking past the Greyhound station. Get that shit the fuck away from me. You know? Makes no sense to me. But what do? You decipher the ones and you do your best you can to make the best judgment that you can based on a situation, and that's the best that you can do. Once again, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and try and gain any kind of notoriety on any single person whatsoever. I didn't bring up the topic people that are homeless to get views or ratings. I brought it up because I felt like it needed to be talked to. And if you've tuned in or been an active listener of this show, I always talk about things that I see currently. And speaking of current events, you know, man, hopefully everybody's all right over there in Dubai. I seen just before I came on tonight, I seen a news reference link that the Torch Tower in Dubai, India, had caught back on fire again. It looked like by ABC News about an hour ago they had completely extinguished the external flames, and they were still working on making sure the rest of the building was secure, but the fire was pretty much done. This fire was literally shooting debris down the sides of the building. It was insanity. Like, you know, and that's the second time that's happened in like 3 years that tower, well, is there any irony in this or not? You name your building the Torch Tower and it catches on fire like twice. Too soon? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, that's breaking news. And it's sad. Hopefully everybody's okay. You know, hopefully everybody's going to come out of that all right. You know, we have towers catch on fire here and they just fall down. So, I mean, they must do something amazing. They must hire Lego builders or something, and we must have connects. Because their buildings, man, they catch fire and they stand. Our buildings catch fire and they just... What the hell? Seriously. But anyways, like I said, God, I wish everybody is okay over there and everything comes out good for them in the Torch Tower. It's just kind of irony, though. It kind of blows my mind. So, you know, at that point, I think I've pretty much come to a close on that. Like I said, people need help out there. It's no thing. People try to do what they can. I think it needs to happen more often. I think that people need to kind of pay attention, though, because there's scammers everywhere, and they do disguise themselves like they are in complete jeopardy. And they'll try to take advantage of you. That's why you ask them a few questions. And you always try to make sure, you know, that's how scary the world is. You can't even trust giving money to someone anymore because they might try to take all of your money. I said you don't, you know, and for those people to be desperate enough to ask anybody they see, you know, they don't know who the hell you are. They don't know if you're a killer. They don't know who the fuck you are. But they're desperate enough to find out if you'll give them some change or $1 or $5. It's dangerous. That's utterly scary and fucking dangerous. But once again, like I said, I still don't feel like any publicity should be made off of the misfortunes of other people. They do need the help. It needs to happen. Some of them need to be exposed for pieces of shit who are scamming the system and taking away from other people. I'm not including those people in that. I'm not saying those people shouldn't be exposed. I'm saying that the ones that are real hard up, and I know it's hard to figure out or decipher who those people are. I know. Use judgment. Use your judgment. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, looks like a duck, chances are it's a duck. So if it looks like a fool, acts like a fool, and talks like a fool, chances are it's a fool. If they're talking to you shady-like, and they're acting at you shady-like, and they're looking at you shady-like, they shady-like. Just be careful out there, guys. Seriously. Seriously. And certain things can be considered borderline harassment, too. So you got to be careful what you say to these people. I mean, I've seen people take it too far, too. I've seen people do some amazing things as well. So it's a double-edged sword. But, you know, just kind of learn what your basis lines are when it comes to those kind of things. And kind of waking up to, you know, the homeless number increases, what is it, by 8? Oh, God, what was that number? 4.8 times every year the homeless number increases in this country. You know, that's why I've always said we should focus on us. Stop worrying so much about everybody else. We piss everybody off. And now we've got all these people living on the streets, dying every day. It's become an epidemic. And I know a lot of people, you know, you either how do I say this? Okay, so you either live around a shitload of people that are homeless, or you barely see them, or you see a couple. You barely ever see a medium there where it's like, oh, I see him once in a while. No, not at all. Not at all. Sorry. Blows my mind, though. It really does. Thinking about it and just kind of like walking through the streets every day, going to work, coming home. I'd see the same people every day at the same spots, asking the same people. And it's like, you've got to remember my face. I gave you money yesterday. Well, yeah, that's why they're asking you again, because they got you. I don't know. All I can say is that most people don't realize how bad the homeless rate really is in this country. And some people are very, very, very aware of it. And like I've said, I'm not sitting here advocating like, oh, help every homeless person. No, because a lot of these people chose this path. Not all of them, though. And we got to remember that. A lot of these people are just down on their luck. A lot of these people have had a bad shake at life. And to be honest with you, like, who am I to judge you for the life that you live? Who am I to judge you for what you do in your life? When you start taking from my friends and my family for your own personal gain and not doing anything with yourself, that's a problem. So I get why certain people are doing what they're doing with it, and why certain people have just had enough. I mean, I totally get that. I totally get why you would look at this every day and be like, you know what? I'm tired of this, and I'm going to see something change. We need more people out there that want to make a change, and less people fucking running their mouths on their couch about it. We need more people out there actually doing something about it, opposed to just running their mouth. I wouldn't just be sitting here running my mouth if I haven't actively been involved in the situation. You do understand that, right? I could tell you things right now that would blow your damn mind, but you know what? I'm not going to go there with people, because it's personal business, and that's the way I keep my life. My personal business stays my personal business. But I can rest assured you that the guy that you're listening to right now will openly admit that I've been in a situation that's very similar to some of these people within the last 5 months. It also comes to boot with a lot of things that have happened in this guy's life. But you know what? I don't blame everybody else for it. I don't blame society. I just find a way to get to smile every day and continue to move forward and continually to progress. If I'm not progressing, then I'm going down, and I don't want to go down. I don't want to go down. I'm trying to build up, not break down. So get you in that position in the first place a lot of times. And it's epically sad. It's epically sad to see, because like I said, I'll go back there. I haven't been there in a year. I'll go back there and see some of the same people in the same spots. The only thing difference is in 1 year. In 1 year, some of these people that live out there in the elements on the street every day, homeless, will have aged about 7 years. The ones that do hard drugs while they're homeless, they'll age about 10 years. In 1 year. Why? Because that's not a life to live. I don't think I'll ever wake up and say, you know what? Fuck my house, fuck my car, fuck my job. I'm just going to go live off other people. I don't think I could ever do that. I've always got to try. You know, the minute you stop living is the minute you start dying. And if I've learned anything in the last 6 months, I don't want to die for a long time. Not for my sake either, guys. For my children's. When you know what it's like to have lost that person in your life, it makes you think a little bit differently. My health perspectives have changed and are continuing to evolve based on the lessons that I've learned in life. It's important, no matter any way you look at it, to learn from the lessons of your life. And until you start actually taking those lessons and then moving them forward and actually making a progressive change because you're tired of watching yourself say, yeah, someday I'm going to make this better. Someday I'm going to make this better. Someday I'm going to make this better. Oh, fuck, I'm dead. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy that everybody looks back on like, oh, he could have did this or he could have did that. I want everybody to look at me like, man, that guy could do everything. I do radio podcasts. I stream gaming. I can fucking rap. I can sing. I can play music. I can do lots of stuff. And I've done lots of stuff in my life. And that's what makes me happy, is the fact that I've had the opportunity to experience as many things that I have. And I'll continue to experience as many things that I possibly can until my number's called. You only get one life. And it sure as hell ain't going to wait for me. And it ain't going to wait for you. What you do with that time is more precious than you'll ever realize. And I think the older you get, the more you learn that lesson. But man, I wish I could have learned that lesson when I was about 15 years old. I'm being 100% honest, people. I wish I would have actually been smart enough to listen to the older people in my life when I was younger. And actually gave me life lessons. I know them now and they stick with me, and they've clicked. But I just wish that years ago when these were explained to me, that they would have clicked when I was that young. But when you don't experience that part of life until you experience it, you never really understand what they were saying, where they were coming from. You don't understand their story unless you've experienced something very similar to it, if not the same thing. The reason I brought this into conversation is everybody says, you don't know my story. That's my answer to you don't know my story. That brings that full circle. If you really think about it, it really brings it full circle. And honestly, that's about the rest that I've got to say about the homeless topic. We've all got to fucking be more senseful. We've all got to think a little more clearly about things. I'm a victim of it myself. I'm not going to lie. So, alright, so now I'm going to bring up another segment. Since I've been ranting for a minute, I've got a lot more to talk about. We're going to talk about, tonight on the broadcast, we are going to be bringing up, what I'm doing here on PunthePsych Gaming and Reality Bytes Radio. Again, we're gonna bring that up, of course. We are gonna talk about my previous topic of last week, and we're gonna go over that again. I'm gonna do that a little bit later. I got more fun topics to talk about right now, but we will get into that topic a little bit later. I've also got 2 old segments that are part of other shows that I used to do, Tanked and Punished, and Late Night Zone Out, and now what is known as Reality Bytes Radio. I'm bringing back 2 of the old Zone Out segments, and if you're an old fan of my radio shows, you will really understand when I say these two segments, if you haven't read the description of this radio broadcast, and you're an old listener of old Pun here, you will know that two of my most famous segments were What Pisses Off Pun and as well as I'd Rather. If you don't know what those two segments are and you're an old fan of this show, then you probably didn't pay much attention. And in that, yes, we're going to do I'd Rather later on because it ties in with some other stuff I want to talk about. Okay. But right now we're going to talk about, well, actually, they all kind of tie in. So right now we're going to talk about what I'm doing on the channel, and then I'm going to go into what pisses off Pun, and a little bit of another segment, and some other shit. And then we're going to get into the UFC pay-per-view, and I'll close the whole radio broadcast over by synapsing and getting a little more in-depth of what I was talking about last week when it comes to corporate businesses. So that is the format of what's going to happen at this moment. And after taking the main topic, honestly, Pun needs a minute to gather his thoughts. So what we're going to do now is take a quick 5-minute break or so, and we will return right back to this wonderful radio broadcast here, Reality Bytes Radio, here live on PunthePsych Gaming. PunthePsych here, thanking every single one of you for checking out the show tonight and catching the replay on YouTube, guys. If you'd like to see some Call of Duty gaming, check out J. Samuel Powers' page, Crying Wolf. He's got a lot. I'll put a link up in the chat. You guys can check him out if you'd like the first-person shooter action there. And without further ado, I'll be right back shortly, guys, here on PunthePsych Gaming, Reality Bytes Radio. All right, everybody, we are back here live. Reality Bytes Radio, your host, PunthePsych, thanking everybody for checking out the radio broadcast. If you like the content of the radio show tonight, guys, give us a subscribe, hit a like on the video. I thank you for watching. I thank you guys for tuning in. We also do a lot of gaming streams on this channel. We're going to be doing some live video blogs coming live from downtown PDX at least once a week. We'll be getting those done here in the next couple of months, getting that launched. I as well am proud to announce here tonight that the Reality Bytes Radio has now... Okay, let me find a better way to explain this. Okay, so this one day I was walking in the woods, and I saw this tree, and underneath that tree there was a tiny log, and I thought, that log had a child. Well, that's kind of what happened with Reality Bytes Radio. Tonight will be the last night on Reality Bytes Radio that I will talk about sports on this broadcast, because we are coming out with a weekly show, or bi-weekly, depending on how much sporting news is out there, with the NFL coming up soon, UFC in full swing, Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, everything that's going on in the world of sports right now. It's looking like it's probably going to be a weekly show. So get ready for Sports Bites in reality. Coming to you live on PunthePsych Gaming, brought to you in part by Reality Bytes Radio. We're going to be talking about a lot of... It'll be mostly focused on combat sports like wrestling and UFC, but we're definitely going to talk about NFL. We're definitely going to talk about NBA, all the sports we're going to bring up, and we're going to do at least an hour broadcast every week dedicated to sports here on Reality Bytes Radio. So if you're a sports fan, you're definitely going to want to check out that radio broadcast. If you are just I want to hear the general topics, you're going to want to stick to here. And if you like everything we do, you're going to want to and we're going to want to listen to both of them. So those are some of the things that we're launching here. Definitely doing some more Friday the 13th streams coming up. I got some more highlight vids to do. The Legend of Zelda series is underway. I've got video 3 will be uploaded sometime in the next 24 hours. I haven't promised what time that's going to come up, but sometime in the next 24 hours, episode 3 of the Legend of Zelda series will be up. I also have several weeks of Tecmo Bowl to get out there for you guys. I've also got plenty other videos coming your way, plenty other ideas, and a few collabs possibly in the works as well. So be tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. And if you are not a member of our Facebook page, I suggest you click on the information underneath this video. Get all that information, guys. Get in there. Go to the Facebook page. Go to our Discord. You're welcome to join the Discord. Come chat with me anytime you'd like. You're welcome to go to the Twitter. You're welcome to do any of these things. Come to the channel. We appreciate your views. So those are some of the things that I'm working on. I've definitely got more old bits and old things that I used to do on my old broadcasts that are definitely getting incorporated into these shows. It's definitely interesting. I've been very excited to see how things are going to go here on PunthePsych Gaming. Launching this really, my love of gaming mixed with my love of radio kind of birthed what I've been doing. And honestly, I can't say that I'm unhappy whatsoever. I'm very, very humbled with everything that's happened with the channel, and I'll only continue to stay that way. I just want to put out good content. I just want to put out entertaining radio, as I feel that I've always done. How many other people do you see doing radio podcasts solo? You see most of these people, and they've got a co-host and a sidekick and 12 other people on a live chat party line. Which, once again, guys, if you want to join, you're more than welcome to get on the Discord. I can give you a phone number for Google Hangouts you can call, or I can call you, Skype, any type of media that you can use to contact me, I can put you on the show with. So it's pretty much open-ended on that. All you have to do is get a hold of us. If you'd like to be a special guest on the show, or you have somebody that you know I would love to interview or talk to on Reality Bytes Radio, all you have to do is go to our email address, or you can go to the Facebook page and send us a message. I can also get you a number to contact me as well, so I can contact future or possible guests. I definitely have some guests scheduled for Reality Bytes. I've definitely got a PDX music talent show that I'm going to be launching in the future. It's in development right now. And I'll definitely have a couple of people that are involved in that definitely coming on. I'd definitely like to get a couple of those guys on to talk to and interview for sure. I think it would be good exposure for them. and it would definitely help me do what I love and be able to interview people and do those kind of fun things. So, those are the things that I'm looking at doing for the broadcast, to be honest with you. I'm definitely trying to put in the work that's needed to get where I want to personally be. So, without further ado, at that point, that's pretty much all I want to cover as far as what I'm going to be doing on this channel. I'm definitely very thankful for the people at PunthePsych Gaming, which is also myself, for providing me the opportunity to bring this radio broadcast on. So, let's get into this topic about. Okay, so I've been doing the channel for a while now, and I've been getting several what the fuck copyright notices. And no, it's not what most people are going to say. Oh, it's probably his music. No, it's honestly not my music. There's this douchebag that's got a channel from I don't know where. It's not anywhere local. But this douchebag by the name of Tom's Network seems to like to copyright my videos to try and stop me from eventually monetizing them. And I being the person that I am, I had to look into this. So I went and checked out Tom's Network, and they don't do anything like I do. Nothing even that could be relatable. And I've definitely talked to some people. I've got this rectified. Let me tell you what. This guy's a douchebag. He goes around and he's kind of like a troll. He'll hit a copyright strike on you, in which obviously they go over it and configure that there's no content that's anywhere remotely yours. But when I put in the work and come up with the ideas to put this shit out, and I've got a guy out there, trying to fuck with what I'm doing, and has no creative in any of this, and I don't even know this cat, trying to mess with what I'm doing. Why? Because my views have went up? What? What's the deal here, bro? What the fuck is your problem, man? I don't even know you. But I mean, you really should pick and choose your battles really wisely, because I will completely express to you, I am not the type of person that you really want to fuck with that way, because I will take you out publicly and I will bash you with the fucking proverbial hammer of bullshit, because I'm not going to tolerate that from anybody. It may be funny to some people that are those troll bastards and things like that, but honestly, it's not that funny. One time, I could let that go. 2 times, I could say, hey, whatever. Continuously, dude, you're a douche. Now it's to the point where as soon as they do them, they release it and it's done with, because it's obviously been well known. But that pisses me off, man. I mean, I'm the one putting in this work. You're the fucking douche that wants to try and get a laugh off of it. How do you even get a laugh off of it? It's not... It's just douchery, man. So needless to say, I don't understand why somebody would even remotely do that. Looking into it, I found out why. I found out why this cocksucker was doing this. He was doing it because he claims, and I quote, he was doing it because he was a character that played the game Friday the 13th while I was streaming. And since it was his character I was following with the camera, I deserve to have a copyright strike on my video because it's not my character. Now, last time I checked, this dude don't own this game. Okay? This guy don't own shit. So, what gives him the right to get they've actually removed the ability to do that, I think, at this point. But you, sir, are a fucking douchebag. Tom's Network, you're fucking shit. If you ever heard of this, if you're a subscriber to this network, shame on you. Get the fuck off my channel. Seriously. Ain't got no time for that. Okay? When I do 4.5-hour streams and I get a copyright notice for it because somebody wants to be a douche and there's no legitimacy to it, because if you got a legitimate copyright notice, dude, hey, cool, I'll adhere by it, I'll change your song, I'll change whatever is the problem, but I don't copyright video. I don't copyright content that I put on this damn channel. Once in a while, a song I'll catch from a copyright, but come on. You want to know what pisses me off? Douchebags who try to fuck with everybody else instead of just trying to have a little bit of originality for yourself. Grow a pair, get your own ideas, and put them down. And maybe you someday can actually have people that listen to what you have to say. Until you do that, my friend, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what the hell the problem is or why or what the hell was going on. I don't care if you play a fucking game that I'm streaming. It's very well known that people stream, and there's thousands of people that stream on that shit. And you're going to sit there and run your mouth and cause me a problem? Cease and desist, or there'll be more of these rants. I can guarantee you that. And there'll be more action taken too, because I'm not going to fucking sit down and take that quietly. I'm sorry. You done fucked with the wrong bro. You done messed with the wrong guy. And if I have to show that I'll show that. But my God. Really? It is what it is. It is what it is. Alright, let's get into the UFC pay-per-view at this point. So, the UFC pay-per-view. Wow. Honestly, I don't even know where to start with this one. Because, seriously, this one was interesting. And I'm going to make sure I get all the names and all that right. I don't want to slaughter anybody's stuff, so give me just a second. I'll have that all pop back up. All I can say is overall, it was a very, very well done show. I think a lot of the fights were really good. I think that there was some very interesting things that happened. Very interesting things that happened. And we're going to get into that here in just a second when I pull up my file here. I think that it's become one of the more seen sports out there. I think UFC has definitely been on a major rise for many years, and it's up there now. So that was not what I wanted. Okay, hold on a sec, guys. I hate when that happens, when it pulls something up. Yeah, but it was definitely an interesting ordeal. The whole pay-per-view was definitely an interesting thing. There was a lot of emotion. There was definitely, especially in the main event. I think that Cormier really wanted this win. I don't think he expected for that to happen that way, and it's a shame. And I don't want to give too much. That's the last thing we're going to talk about on this. I'm just getting to the bottom of this. Yes, I did definitely watch UFC 214. And it was one of the more exciting and more interesting pay-per-views. So to kick off this pay-per-view, was Volkan Ozdemir against Jimmy Manuwa. And it was an interesting fight, and I think that it really came down to the right guy winning the fight. Ozdemir won the fight in about 42 seconds, and it was a flat line. I think that the guy came out popping. He wasn't expected to come out fighting that way. But I think everybody else was kind of more waiting for the next fight, which was one of my favorite fighters stepping in the cage, which is Robbie Lawler. And he took on the Cowboy, Donald Cerrone. Donald Cerrone, definitely there was a lot of shit talk in this one. Definitely, it was an amazing fight. These guys came out there and threw fists like it was the main event of the entire card. and it came down to a narrow decision. I think they honestly ruled with the guy that deserved to win that fight. I think that Robbie was a little more aggressive. I think that he was a little more intuitive in the fight, and I think that it gave him the edge. I honestly do believe that Robbie Lawler is trying to make another title run, and as long as he stays on his momentum path, he's going to do very well. I really feel that fight could be replayed and have a completely different result, because both of those guys are that unpredictable. Both of those guys are that talented, and so I believe in hopes to see that fight again, to be honest with you. And then after that, we seen the female step into the cage, and honestly, I felt before this fight even started, by watching the pre-rolls and kind of been following these two ladies before, I really felt like Cris Cyborg was gonna win this match, and it was only a matter of time before she did finish this match, in which Cris Cyborg did beat Tanya Evinger. It was in the third round by TKO in about 2 minutes, and let me tell you, like, Cyborg definitely is a tough person. Evinger proved how tough she was by staying in there for 3 rounds with Cris Cyborg. But a lot of people didn't expect to catch her past the first round, and she made it. I think that Cyborg won the round. She did lots of kicks in that first round. I think that scoring the takedown definitely gave her an advantage as well in that first round. In the second round, if you had bet, if you thought that Evinger was even going to make it to the next round, you were pretty smart. I don't think a lot of people thought that she could have easily finished her off in that second round. I'm one of the people that do honestly believe that Cyborg probably could have finished her off in the second round. I don't know why she didn't. I think maybe she was lining up that perfect shot just to finish the fight. And when she came out into the third round, she definitely had that knockout in sight and ended up getting the TKO. I think that it was a great fight. I think we all kind of knew who the outcome was going to be. And then that led us up to probably one of the two most controversial fights of the night, first off. Second off, there's some major questions that have been brought up because of this, and I honestly have questioned this myself. Damian Maia steps into the cage against Tyron Woodley. And, we expected this fight to be a fight that would probably go a long ways. At least I personally expected this fight to go a long ways. Did I expect Tyron Woodley to come out and fight the way that he did? No, I didn't. Was it effective? He won the fight. Okay, Woodley won the fight. He beat Maia. Do I believe that Tyron Woodley deserved to win that fight? No, I do not. Why do I not believe that Tyron Woodley deserved to win that fight? He broke a record. Guys, he broke a record for the fewest strikes thrown and landed in a UFC title fight. He got booed out the building at UFC 214. Booed out. You won your match by decision, and you get booed out by the crowd. What does that tell you the majority thought as well? They all thought that Damian Maia won that fight as well. And the ones that booed him, that didn't think that Damian Maia deserved to win, and they booed Woodley, probably because it was one of the most boring ass fights I've ever seen in UFC history. And not on the end of Maia, it was all Tyron Woodley, man. I've seen this guy push. This dude, I don't know if he just didn't care, if he just wanted to slide by, if he was really that intimidated by Damian Maia. Hell, if I was standing in a cage against Damian Maia, I'm pretty sure I'd be pretty freaking nervous myself. And I mean, I'm not a UFC fighter, but I mean, come on, like, this dude knows what he's doing. This guy is amazing. And the fact that you landed the fewest strikes in a title match against a guy like Damian Maia is unbelievable to me. And honestly, I don't think people even want to watch this guy fight no more. It's sad when you're a UFC champion and the people don't even want to watch you throw down no more. What's that? I'm talking about buy rates. He'll never. I guarantee you that Tyron Woodley from this point on will never, ever, ever headline a UFC pay-per-view. Maybe a fight night, but that dude will never headline a single UFC pay-per-view after that. I don't know if anybody watched the post-fight conference on this, but Dana White was pissed, to say the least. And then Tyron, and then Woodley wants to run his mouth about it. I don't understand that. Like, who the hell do you think you are, dude? You just came out and gave the worst performance based on striking, which you're a striker. I mean, let's face it, he's a striker. You gave the worst UFC performance, striking-wise, in UFC history as a champion, and retained your title. You are either the luckiest son of a bitch on the face of planet Earth, or you're seriously the smartest motherfucker in the UFC. Because you got paid to basically do dick for 5 rounds. When you could have brought the fight and we could have actually seen who the true winner was, who the true champion was really in this division. And instead, you got to waste it because he wasn't sure he could beat him. He slithered his ass all the way through this fight, just barely by the skin of his teeth. And in my opinion, Damian Maia won this fight. I honestly think that, honestly, the only thing that would have cost Damian Maia this entire fight was the fact that he didn't press enough. If he would have pressed more, I think Damian Maia would have won that fight easily. Easily he would have won that fight. But he didn't, that's just the way it is. And it's sad and all that, but what do you do? And last but not least, we're going to get into Jon Jones versus Daniel Cormier. This fight was everything I expected it to be. This fight ended the way I thought it would. And honestly, I wasn't even shocked that Daniel Cormier put up such a fight. I thought, honestly, up until the point where he took that head kick, it was seriously anybody's fight. Cormier fought back. He put up a lot of heart. He gave what he had. Unfortunately, just like has been proven in the UFC time after time after time after time after time after time, anybody can be knocked out any night with a good solid strike. This dude took the shin to the side of the face. What did you expect was going to happen? This was an emotional fight. This was been built up for 2 years. These guys have been wanting to tear each other's heads off for a long time. And to be honest with you, I really expected to see a lot more trash talk after the fight on Jon Jones' side. I really did. And I also expected to see a lot more sportsmanship out of Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier handled that very badly. And I don't know if he was mad because they made him do the post-fight the interview and wouldn't let him leave the cage, or if he was just that upset because he really thought he was going to beat John. I'm not real sure, but to go out there and not even be like standing there when the other guy's hands raised because you're going to act that salty, why? You run your mouth about being a true champion and doing all this stuff, and you're going to turn around and you're going to disrespect the man that you said couldn't beat you this time around. And he did again. He beat him twice. Just like he said in his own interview, I don't see how this is a huge rivalry and a huge drawn out war fight between two guys when he won both fights. Let's be real about it. How the hell do you do that? He won both fights, guys. There is no rivalry there. End of discussion. It's over. Will they fight a third time? I highly doubt it. Unless Cormier goes all the way back up the rankings, I don't see it happening. But the sportsmanship that John Jones showed after the fight, saying what a true champion Cormier was and how hard he fought and what a great character was, what a great stand-up father and a great man he was. After everything that Daniel Cormier said to that man and everything he put him through in 2 years, everything that Jones put through himself, the last thing I expected to see John Jones do was go out there and actually praise the man he just beat. I figured he'd have been like, "What now, bitch? You ran your mouth for 2 years and I knocked your teeth down your throat. What now?" And he didn't. He stood up and he handled it great. He did what he needed to do. He won the fight and he did a great job. Overall, like I said, it was an amazing pay-per-view. It was done very well and it was very entertaining. It was done very well. Very impressed. Was I impressed with Battleground? WWE's Battleground? I'd say it was an average pay-per-view. I would say that the prison match was pretty interesting. It was a lot more exciting than the few of the other Punjabi prison matches were. But I don't know. I just couldn't get behind Khali coming back and grabbing him. I just couldn't get by the fact that they put Randy Orton in the main event since WrestleMania. And the only time he won the only time he actually won was WrestleMania. Every pay-per-view since WrestleMania he's lost to Jinder. 3 in a row. Is he gonna fight Jinder again at SummerSlam? Who knows? Who knows? I don't even I don't know. I don't even know. I know that Shinsuke hurt Cena. And some stuff like that happened, but we'll talk more about that on the sports broadcast, guys. But that was the UFC pay-per-view. Once again, guys, I thank you for listening to Reality Bytes Radio. I thank everybody for tuning in tonight, listening to the broadcast. I am fresh out of topics. I am almost about out of time tonight. And I would like to thank you guys for listening in. If you like the content of this broadcast, guys, go on and give us a like, give us a subscribe. I thank you guys for listening in. And I'm not done yet. I actually have one more topic, and I do have a little bit more time. What it is honestly, I'm just gonna carry that over to next week, because I am out of time. Guys, I'm out of time tonight. I would definitely like to thank everybody for watching. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in here upon the Psych Gaming. Come to the channel every day. We have new videos, new streams, new uploads. Be ready for Reality Sports Bites. Be ready for another episode next week of Reality Bytes Radio, and we've got more coming to you, as always, on PunthePsych Gaming. Guys, at this point in time, PunthePsych would like to thank every single person who's given us a view. Hit the subscribe button. Come and check this out. Listen to me run my mouth. Watch me play games. It's all greatly appreciated, and I thank every single one of you guys for that. Have a wonderful night here at PunthePsych Gaming, and farewell.
Been a million places, and never see 'em in their faces, but I feel supernatural. come again.